As the holidays get closer, I always want our home to feel warm and festive, but without adding more to my already full plate. And I feel like a lot of us feel this way. So today I'm sharing the simple things I do to make our home feel special and festive this time of year. Just some small touches that bring comfort and joy without any of the stress. This week, I'm starting to ready our home for the holidays, and I realized that there's so many things that we do besides just decorating that make our home feel really cozy and inviting and just make it feel like home for the season. So I thought I would take you along and give you some ideas for how you can make your home feel festive without all the stress, without all of the consumption. These are just kind of fun and natural ways, quick ways that you can make your home feel so festive and just embrace what this season has to offer. Even just some simple ideas that don't take much time or effort. They're just fun little touches you can sprinkle in here and there in your home to just give your home that beautiful seasonal feel. For me, whenever I think of homemaking for the season, I immediately think of food and what can I feed my family, because I feel like in our home, meal times are always just around the corner, so I try to stay ahead of it the best I can. One thing I love is to cook with things that are in season. So right now there's lots of sweet, big carrots, and there's lots of cranberries. And since we can only get cranberries once or twice a year, I like being able to cook with those as much as I can when they are in season. So tonight I'm putting a spin on our classic kind of pot roast, and I'm making it a little bit different by adding some fresh cranberries, some cranberry sauce, and of course all the basics, carrots, onions, and garlic. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite ways to serve it, which are some amazing potatoes that you could make for any holiday this season. I just like to start out by adding in some avocado oil into my slow cooker that I put on saute mode. And if your slow cooker doesn't do saute, then you could do it in an instant pot. And I just sear my meat on all sides, and then I'll pull that out and saute my veggies in there. Then I'm adding everything to make the braising liquid. So I'm adding some beef bone broth, some cranberry sauce, some maple syrup, tomato paste, and a little dash of Worcestershire sauce. And then I'm finishing it with some fresh cranberries, which are optional because the cranberry sauce is really going to give it great flavor. One way to make your home immediately feel festive, whether you're having company over or if you're just like us and just love to smell the scent of the season every day. I love putting this on while we're doing homeschool. It is just a simple simmer pot. I know that different scented candles can get so expensive, and so I love doing this because you can use things you probably already have or you can get on a good sale and just add it to a pot. I just do some water and I added some fresh cranberries that produce kind of a sweet scent, some rosemary from the garden, some cinnamon sticks, and then I'm just slicing up an orange to put in as well. And then I love doing a few pinches of fresh whole cloves. It just creates the most beautiful scent in your home. And you can really switch it up and add different ingredients. I just love having this simmer every day. It just creates this smell of home. One thing I love to do is add really simple decor that doesn't cost a lot, and one of the things I've been loving doing lately is to, me and my family usually, we find these antique stores. We actually have a lot around us, which I don't think I ever really realized, but we've been going there a lot lately. It's so fun because you can just find stuff that's unique. Usually you can find stuff that's really high quality, like solid wood. I just found a new pantry or cupboard, and I used to have an old one. It was made of particle board, and it didn't last very long. We go through a lot of food, and so it just couldn't really hold up. But now I have one that is solid wood, and I found it at an antique market. And I kid you not, I was gonna order one online. It was really pricey, but I thought I'll wait, I'll save for it. But then it turned out that shipping was gonna be an arm and a leg. So I decided, okay, even though I love that wooden pantry, I'm gonna wait and see if I can find one at an antique market. And then the next week I ended up going with my family and we literally walked in the antique market and right towards the front was this pantry. So I immediately grabbed it. It was a steal and it was, I think it was less than a quarter of the price of the one I was gonna buy online. So usually, even though you think things like antiques or thrifted items can be more expensive or hard to find, sometimes you can strike gold, and that's what I did with this pantry and a few other pieces around the house. But one thing I found in particular that I thought would be beautiful for Christmas is this little copper vase. So it's just an antique one. It already has some patina on it, and I love it for decor. Definitely use it as a vase during the holidays. I love that color, or just shelf decor in the kitchen. But I grabbed this immediately because it was only $12. And to find something like this for $12, things are usually pretty pricey, even if they're on sale. And this just has so much character. It was really fun to find it. And I love different thrifted things or antique store finds. So I'm gonna use this today. And I have this from last year, which is just some faux Christmas greenery. And so instead of using it the same way I used it last year, I'm gonna repurpose it and use it in a different way. And now I'm gonna use the rest of it and put it in this beautiful vase. And we'll put it somewhere fun, either in the kitchen or just around the house. If I ever have a bigger property one day, I'm going to make sure that I have plenty of evergreen trees and pine trees and things that I can use to pull for seasonal decor, because it is such a natural, beautiful, and of course a really affordable way to make your home feel festive any time of year. Another way I love to do it, since I don't have those things growing outside, is just by using some seasonal fruit. So I have some oranges I just got from the store because I love to just lean on everyday items. So whether it's a stack of cookbooks that maybe have red covers, or you're using some sort of tea towel on your kitchen counter, all of those are just really easy ways to make your kitchen feel a little more lively for whatever season you're in. And that's what these oranges are doing here. I'm gonna use them as a centerpiece on my table because it's just fun, and it's also something that my kids can get involved in, which I love. I'm a homeschool mom, and so any activity or arts and crafts time I can do with my kids, it is my favorite thing to do. I just love having them, especially in the kitchen like this. It's something simple that all of them can do, even the smallest one. And all you do is you take oranges, and you can actually dry these out in the oven if you want to, but they're perfectly fine to leave on the table. We just use some toothpicks to make holes in them, and then we stud them with cloves. We need a toothpick, we need an orange, and then let's get some cloves out. That way we're not getting like orange juice in the cloves.
Okay.
We have a little pile. You don't have to do all the sides either. You can kind of leave them because they'll be resting in a bowl.
Okay.
You can get as fancy or as simple as you like, but you can make all sorts of different beautiful designs. So if you wanted to spend a little bit longer on this, you definitely could. Or by simply just putting them in there wherever you can fit them, they still look beautiful, especially when you make a bunch of them. I've even seen people use like floral foam and make beautiful towers out of them. So maybe if you were having a really festive party, you could have a beautiful centerpiece making like a cone tower of these oranges. And my daughter actually had a really great idea. She took a marker and made the shape of a Christmas tree. That way she could stud her orange in the shape of a Christmas tree, and it was really sweet. Now I thought I would take these extra branches and just kind of lay them underneath an old kind of dough bowl And then I'm just going to put those oranges right on top so we have the greenery and those beautiful oranges. And not only are these beautiful and festive and of course homemade, but they smell amazing because you'll smell all of those essential oils from the oranges and the scent of the cloves. It just perfumes your home in the most natural, beautiful way. I love being able to use nature whenever I'm decorating because it's fast, it's free, and it's beautiful and natural. And so the other day, we took our kids one afternoon to just go exploring at this beautiful watering hole that we love, and it is surrounded by walnut trees. And so we were able to forage for tons of walnuts, and so we brought some home, and I'm just putting these in a little Christmas dish. And we will set this out on a table in the living room. And this brings me back to my childhood because I remember so clearly that we'd always have walnuts on our coffee table and we would use little nutcrackers and crack them. And it just brings me back to those times. Such sweet, innocent memories of just cracking nuts. And so I love being able to do this with my kids, and the fact that we found them just on a nature hike makes it all the better. So if you can go outside, get outside this season when it is just beautiful before the really, really cold sets in. You never know what you'll find, and sometimes it just is the little things like that that make your home feel extra special. I don't typically buy too many scented candles just because usually if you're trying to find some that are more natural, you might find one candle and it'll be $20. So it's not that affordable and I feel like they go by really quickly. So I've resorted to either scenting the room with something natural, or I will burn beeswax candles because they just have a really light scent. These are actually the type of candles we burn in our church. We only use beeswax candles in our church, and so it just brings those same feelings of church into my home, which I love. And then it also just gives it a really beautiful and kind of primitive look. And one thing I like to do during the holidays is kind of limit myself and try not to create too much clutter in my small home. So one thing I like to do is repeat the same sort of ingredient in different places in my home. That way it feels more cohesive and it feels less messy that way somehow. So I love putting beeswax candles just here and there, whether it's a pillar or a taper candle. I love just having the warm glow, or depending on what room I'm in, having just that little flicker of candlelight. It's just beautiful and natural and reminds me of really old kind of colonial homes, and I love that. Now tonight, to go with that delicious cranberry pot roast, I'm making a special kind of mashed potato, and it's a kind that we're going to bake too. There's a few steps to it, but it is so worth it, and it's actually really simple to do. Cubed potatoes, just russet potatoes that I peeled and rinsed. I put those in the Instant Pot and cover them with water and a big old pinch of salt, and I pressure cook those for around 10 minutes, I think. I'll put it in the description box so I make sure I'm giving you the correct time, but it is so quick and easy to make mashed potatoes. You could make them every single night because the Instant Pot just makes it so easy. So we're going to cook those up, and then I'll drain them, let them really steam off and release all of that liquid into the air. Then I'll put them back in the Instant Pot container, but before I put them back in there, I actually use the pot that's kind of still warm to heat up a little bit of half and half or cream, and then some butter and some salt. Because you want to make sure that whenever you're making mashed potatoes, that milk and butter are nice and hot before you add the potatoes in, because it can really mess with the texture. And then I'll show you what else to do to finish that off. The cooking liquid is so delicious to this pot roast. I just like to make it a little bit thicker so it's the perfect gravy to go over those potatoes. So I just mix together a little bit of cornstarch or arrowroot powder with some water, and then I'll add that in and set it to simmer or saute mode just so it starts to thicken up, and I'll add that beef back in and it is ready to go, and it just makes the most beautiful sauce on top of potatoes. This was one of our favorite meals. My kids adored it, so it was really fun to feed this to the family. Just something different. Now, once my potatoes are to my desired consistency, then I add in a couple spoonfuls of the Good Culture sour cream, and this just adds the perfect kind of tanginess and bite to it to just make those potatoes extra flavorful. And I also added in some garlic powder. Now I'm adding those into a baking dish, and this is optional because the potatoes are done at this point, but around the holidays, I love just taking things up a notch. It's just fun for me. So I'm gonna add them into a baking dish, and I've preheated my oven to around 425. Sometimes I'll even do 450 if I'm in a hurry, and I'll add in my potatoes to the baking dish and I'll smooth it out as best I can. I tried to make a beautiful design, but I'm just not very artistic in that way. So I just kind of swirled it around. You wanna make sure there's kind of craters and high points. And then I will take some egg and mix it with water. Just make a quick egg wash, about 1 tablespoon of water to 1 egg. Whisk that up. Then I'll use a pastry brush and then brush the egg wash all over the potatoes. And you can also dot it with a little bit of extra butter, then into the oven until the top of those potatoes are golden brown, and it almost turns into like a baked potato souffle. They get kind of light and fluffy. Some people even mix eggs into the potatoes themselves and then bake it, which is optional. So if you want them extra rich for the holidays, this is the way to do it. It amazes me just how dark it's getting so early. It feels like it's 9 o'clock when I'm serving dinner. And so I find us spending a lot more time together in the evenings because everybody is just kind of in the house. Normally my kids would be playing outside or asking to go on a walk. One thing we've started to enjoy doing, besides just playing games together or a board game, we are enjoying doing puzzles. And I've kind of spun this into something that I feel like makes my home feel so festive. So there's all these different kinds of puzzles you can get with different kinds of beautiful scenes of Christmas and little cozy farmhouses and deer. And this one actually has a bunch of Christmas dogs on it in the back of a red truck. And it is so adorable. My kids love it. And so just sitting down together and the lights are dim and we can just sit together and enjoy doing a quick puzzle together. And it's perfect because in these evenings, as the sun is setting earlier, we have so much time to spend inside, and so this is a really fun activity to do together. I think it's really fun this time of year to kind of challenge yourself to see what ways you can make your home feel festive for you, your friends, your family, besides just adding decor that you have to go out and buy. I love trying to figure out ways to make my home feel cozy and festive or have seasonal touches without even having to buy too much, or to just focus on things that you do, like a craft or a puzzle. And so I love adding those touches into my home, or adding things that my kids can do, whether it's decorating the oranges or cracking nuts or doing a Christmas puzzle. All of these things make our home feel so nice this time of year, and it really is simple. It doesn't take a lot.